Simple yet powerful words. Most people know what it's like to explain a matter, only to be told by their hearers that they don't understand what you're talking about. It's frustrating for all involved. That said, I am often impressed by the Apostle Paul's writings, with both his ingenious mind and yet his ability to explain matters simply, well, most of the time. Paul's ability to adjust an explanation for complexity or simplicity according to who he knows will be reading is worthy of our attention. What's more, Paul was able to masterfully do the same when speaking to people in person. When writing to the Corinthian church about his earlier visit, Paul explains that when I came to you, I did not come with eloquence or human wisdom, as I proclaimed to you the testimony about God. For I resolved to know nothing while I was with you except Jesus Christ and him crucified. I came to you in weakness with great fear and trembling. My message and my preaching were not with wise and persuasive words, but with a demonstration of the Spirit's power, so that your faith might not rest on human wisdom, but on God's power. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 1 to 5. The most striking quality that I notice is Paul's humility. Although he had the highest credentials, Paul didn't speak with eloquence, which I'm sure he could have if he wanted. Speaking instead in words that would be easy to receive, Paul communicated the testimony about God in a way that could not only be understood, but believed in. Key to Paul's introduction to the gospel was that he disciplined his explanation to Jesus Christ and him crucified. He restricted any tendency to explain more than only what was needed for the purpose of the gospel. Recognizing Corinth's Gentile culture, there was no need to unpack Old Testament Jewish teaching. Rather, Paul wisely spoke in a manner that the average citizen would understand. His desire to be effective at communicating the truth of Jesus Christ motivated determination at presenting the essentials relevant to his listeners for the occasion. In other words, the core gospel truth is what Paul focused on, which was the Corinthians' greatest need at that time. More complex teaching would come later in the life of the future Corinthian church. Knowing Paul as we do, it's hard to imagine he felt weakness with great fear and trembling in those early days of evangelism in Corinth. Yet, his nervousness was motivated by humility and a correct desire for gospel effectiveness. Obviously, Paul was not trying to impress people with his personality, knowledge, or speaking skills. The truth is, his lack of personal charisma could have easily been a deterrent to his audience, but it wasn't. As is always the case when the gospel is proclaimed, it is the operation of the Holy Spirit who invisibly infuses the necessary power to change people's lives. The same remains true today, with the Holy Spirit working through simple and clear explanations of Jesus' gospel, so that faith might not rest on human wisdom, but on God's power. Be encouraged to learn the biblical gospel essentials well, so that as the Lord provides opportunities, you will be able to explain it simply, clearly, and in an understandable way for your hearer. We don't need to be an apostle or to have higher education for this, but we do need humility and willingness. May the Lord enable each of us to prepare ourselves for the times when we can speak of Jesus Christ and him crucified. I'm Lincoln Forlong, and you can view the transcripts of the pastor's pen, including Bible references, at focusbiblechurch.com.